Welcome to the Trinidad Cast. This is episode number 150. Yay! Just now, hold on. Did you hear the applause?
Yeah.
The name of the thing is applause intense. That wasn't very intense. All right, okay, that was good at them. StreamYard gave us some new things. I just didn't get a chance to play with them yet. Yeah, welcome to episode 150. We've been doing this for 150 times. It's 2023 we started.
I can't remember.
It was the end of 2022.
Yeah,
It was after ChatGPT had come out, because that was one of the first few things that we had. I don't know. Yeah, it was somewhere around there. But anyway, we're on episode 150. Thank you very much for all those of you who are listening, and the people who've just started listening, and the people who listen just to say that they don't know what they're talking about, because there are people like that, especially the TikTok people. Anyhow, my name is Andre Charles. I am from @MakeItSimpleTT on the internet, but also from @TrinitechCast and @LearnIt.TT and @Caribbean Study Forums and @OrderIt. And it's just a bunch of wild swings that has taken, and hope one of them hits.
Yeah, they say hashtag, this is not an ad.
Yeah. Hashtag, this is me. But I have no personal profiles on the internet again. Okay, they're still there, just don't use them. Yeah. But you know who has a personal profile that nobody knows about? Akim there.
He's Instagram. It there. It's just private.
Yeah, private. You ain't getting inside there.
And it's all like, I probably post like 10 pictures since last 10 years or something. So
well, we're gonna talk about that just now. He's redbit_tech. If you want to like find him, he start back using it because he's starting to accept our collaborations on Instagram now. Because hey, the world is a known place. And that is Michaela Noel, Keller_Noel, who has been letting the world know that she played mass for the past few.
Oh yeah. Every other post is just a post. Me and my carnival costume, because I paid way too much money to post anything else.
You know, what's the funniest part is that I don't follow anything with respect to carnival on that Instagram account, right? So I'll be scrolling through tech story, something about tech story, carnival costume. Who's this? What's that? I was like, oh yes, Michaela. Okay, cool. Like when Express and Guardian and thing posts videos of like carnival and stuff, I'll just be like, oh gosh, I don't really want to see this here. I really just want the tech stuff for the news. And I nearly unfollow. Okay, I didn't unfollow Michaela. I was like, oh gosh, Michaela is people. Let me leave her. Let her enjoy herself and whatnot. And I was like, I ain't gonna lie to you, Michaela. I was like, $12,000, boy. Let me see if I could pick out where the money went.
It's part of the experience.
Yeah, and because I think the experience is the drinks and the truck and the security and the food and all them kind of thing, right? And you get lunch?
Music.
Yeah. I had a VIP. So my section was basically like a VIP section. So I also paid extra for a AC trailer. So whenever I got tired of the hot sun, I would literally walk in the trailer and get AC, and they had a bartender inside. So I would just line inside the truck.
Okay. Well, then that's why it's 12.
And then we had a private lunch box. So we had real food, real drinks. I lead about like $8 of food soap Monday and Tuesday. I said, I will put my money.
You know, there's always wonder, Michaela, you have any like fitness tracker or anything like that?
No.
I wanted to ask how much steps you make.
Ooh, Carnival Monday, I did 36,000 steps. Let me see.
36?
Yeah, that was Carnival Monday.
Oh, wow.
1,000. Because I did Juve and then Monday.
Yeah. Also, your phone tracked it.
Yeah, the phone, all phones has be tracking it by default now. It depends on the app. All right, that's the intro to us, guys. You know who we are. So we are normal people, but we also know about technology. And who was techiest this week? That's our first segment. What was your techiness like this week? All right, starting with you, Hakeem. You look like you do something this week.
Not really, This week was more just dealing with people and meetings and that type of thing. So it wasn't much techiness this week. So this past week, last week was meeting the people to hear what they need done. So this week you're actually going to do the tech.
Oh, you have to work. Okay.
Work. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta go to work. All right, Michaela, techiness? Any techiness?
For the most part, I did some web app testing and I did some dark web searches. So that was fun. That was my techiness for the week.
One of my students asked me about the dark web this week, and I was like, you don't want to. I don't think you should. And she's like, so you will show us? I was like, nope. But you had to reach in Form 6 before I even think about showing you that.
Yeah, but they could Google it. I'm sure they could Google it.
Yeah, but Google won't be of much help, to be very honest.
Yeah, you need to understand certain, they don't understand certain things about the internet yet. Them now learning about, fiber optic cables undersea. They're like, undersea cables? So you're telling me that the cables just run underwater? And I was like, yeah, I was explaining that to them, and then I was showing them the different layers of the internet, where you have the internet that you could see, the internet that you can't see, and then the dark web underneath that. And they were like, ooh, what is going on in the dark web? I'll say, well, you need to know the IP address, and you need to know something called the Tor browser, the Onion browser. And they were like, so if I Google it, I'll get it. I was like, that's the equivalent of you watching an abandoned building and decide that you're going to walk inside of it by yourself. That's what it's going to look like. And
that seems like fun.
To them, I don't know. I kind of scared them. I told them sometimes you see a mouse cursor moving and you didn't move it, and they were kind of spooked by that. But that was all. But me techiness, what did I do? I had to set a past paper. I had to set mock exam papers, and normally I'll take past paper questions. But we used to cut the PDFs and paste the PDF in so that I'll have the exact question. I still have the white background and thing. But now we not get any papers as clean as we used to get them before. So I had to type them over a few times well. But this year, I was like, yo, Gemini, take this PDF here and extract the text from her so that I could just format it in the way that I need to format it. And yeah, Gemini was just helping me with my PDFs to create my exam paper. And I do like when the exam paper is like a bad copy and teachers just copy that and put it inside. And when the students open up the paper, it looking all kind of not aligned, and some of the pictures to the left and it's skewed because whoever took a picture of the exam paper and leaked it, they didn't do it properly. So I tend to type it over, but this time I didn't type it over. Me and Gemini typed it over. And if you see how pristine that exam paper come out, it looked like that's how CXC intended for it to be. And I was so glad that they were impressed that I was able to type over a whole exam paper in an hour and a half, which I didn't because Gemini was there for me.
Now that I say that, like an hour ago, my daughter brings some, well, not my daughter, my wife bring some of my daughter homework, and she had to do like a image and stuff like that on 2 ways to conserve energy.
Yeah.
So I just let ChatGPT generate an image.
You use ChatGPT to generate an image on how to conserve energy?
Oh boy, it's about to get dark in here. It's about to get dark in here. Yeah, it generated the image.
Use up all the energy.
She gonna get A at 8.6. It's 5 or 6, I can't remember what it is. But
5 should be 6 this
was there any updates from last week? I can't remember any comments from any. I didn't really go through much comments from people last. Oh, there's somebody who is hacking ministry laptops and installing Windows 11 clean on it for them. So they're flashing the BIOS and they're reinstalling Windows 11 for them. And they were in the comments of one of our TikTok videos.
That's such a good idea.
And bro was like, it will cost you something. Check me in the DMs. And I said, did we just facilitate an illegal activity? I don't know. But yeah, that's the only update I saw. That's the only comment I watched. I was like, wait, they're making a deal here. Yeah. Because one of the persons sounded very desperate, like, wait, how you do that? you could do it for me, or? And the man said, it will cost you. And then the response was, check your DMs. And that was it.
Wow.
So
Why didn't I think of that sooner? Wow. That's such a good idea.
yeah, I guess the BIOS do have a password. Because for you to be able to flash the BIOS, you had to be able to get into the BIOS and if you do get into the BIOS, the only way to flash a BIOS chip after that is to physically go on the board and put in and flash the contacts.
That's scamming people.
No, I don't.
I don't know. I still have to get one of them in my hands and see if it could get into the BIOS and if they have a BIOS password. But it could be scamming. It could be real. You never know. But that is about all the updates I have from last week's episode. And any comments that we saw on Instagram or wherever it is. Somebody had left a comment about art with Angeline, but I think she replied to that. Something along those lines. So that's it for updates. Today's episode is built on who cares about what they upload. We have an article to go through to discuss uploading things on the internet used to be very dangerous, but now it's super dangerous. And from a privacy perspective, or does anybody even care anymore? We have to kind of land on that and see where we at. And did Flava Village open up digital payments? We always talk about digital payments and people paying with their card and tap to pay and all those different things. It seems like Flava Village, there were 50 vendors who were given these point of sale machines and they benefited from the non-cash transactions. But did they have to pay for it? Did they have bank accounts? We have to ask some questions about that. And the AI wars have begun. We have to talk about Anthropic and OpenAI making some stands with the US government that may be the beginnings of what AI guardrails should look like. So let's head to our first story. Do we care about what we upload? Right now you're listening to Trinity TechCast, and more than likely you know that I love technology a lot. But more so, I love teaching technology. I'm a CSEC IT and CAPE Computer Science and IT teacher, and I have classes that are available. So if you know anyone, any student that's looking for quality CAPE Computer Science or CSEC IT classes, you can check us out at 308-8799 on WhatsApp or makeitsimplett.com/register. You can get classes, notes, recordings, IA, SBA help, everything that you could think of. That will get you that one in CSEC IT. So you can check us out. All right. So first story is once my ad blocker says, okay, I'm good. Yeah. Think before you upload. Cyber consultant songs alarm. So here's what he said. Earlier this month, a social media trend skyrocketed where people were posting cartoon versions of themselves created with artificial intelligence. The caricatures were also detailed with specific features about themselves, including their professions and hobbies. Enterprise risk consultant, senior cybersecurity lecturer and forensic investigator Shiva Parasaram said the problem with this begins with people willingly handing over their information. People are just handing over all of their information because of this trend, and that's where the problem starts. You have something that's trending, everybody jumps on board. He noted that there are people who would not think twice about giving their information to ChatGPT or some other generative artificial intelligence platform, since they already have put out a lot of information about themselves on social media. And that's all I'll say there for now. I have a lot of other things in the article. Of course, the articles are always posted underneath in the description. I want to know, I want to discuss, do we care? Well, I know we should care. For sure, we should care. But do enough people care about sharing all of their personal information on the internet to the point where it's like a warning sign, like look both ways before you cross the road, or what else is a common warning that we use? Look both ways before you cross the road. Don't talk to strangers. Yeah, those are the only two that come into mind. Do we care enough to make that such a household term as it stands right now? Akim, you look like you like nah. So. No, we don't care. What?
Nope.
Like
because so in terms of social media, right? Social media have a design right where in terms of you're posting stuff again, like so it become addictive and that is what driving your whole dopamine, and you equate that to some people. That is like a big part of their life, and it's linked to the self-esteem and whatever. So if you tell somebody, hey, you need to be careful with where you post versus what they get out of social media, and they probably wouldn't care because it's like, I'm doing this for me. I like the likes, I like the attention, I like everything. So if you go and tell somebody who the post in the social media, they're not getting no money outside, they're just getting the likes and views. I have to say, hey, you need to be careful with this and that because of your data information. I don't think that person gonna care too much.
I have plenty of analogies there, but let me hear what Michaela think first before I jump in. Yeah.
I really think it depends. So I agree with Akeem. I also think it depends on how you contextualize it. So for Cybersecurity Awareness Month last year, I went back to my alma mater, which is Bishop's, and I had a discussion with the girls about this same issue, like what you post online and why you should be careful about what you post online. And basically the context was, if an employer or like a university recruiter Googles your name, would you be proud about what they found? And I think that same concept should be applied to AI models in a sense, especially since I fully believe that they're going to use these AI chatbots and all the history to give us personalized ads. We're going to get into that a little later. So I refuse to use it. No. But I think that if people kind of add the context as to why it's bad to give your data to these companies, then it may deter some people from just posting haphazardly. Because me personally, do I necessarily care about my data privacy anymore? Not necessarily, because I know that Google already knows everything that they have to know about me, and it's not even something you can defend against anymore. But I still try to err on the side of caution for personal safety. But yes, it's a kind of desensitization that took many years to happen. Like, it didn't just happen overnight. So when the internet started, everyone was like, don't talk to strangers online, don't post your personal information online. But over like the last 2 decades, it kind of devolved into everyone online is your friend. You can make money about posting your life. If you post your life, you'll get more likes, you'll get more views, you'll be popular. Post everything. Yeah.
That is exactly where I was. The last part you said is where I was going to go. You see the influencer culture?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing I wanted to say, apart from social media, right, you have people that will just willingly go to ChatGPT or these other chatbots and talk to it like a friend or like a therapist. So, and in their minds, they probably think, I'm not putting it out there to the internet. It's just between me and this chatbot, this AI thing. But some people will tell it everything about their life, about the business, about work, about family, about this. Go to it for medical advice, with this, with that, finances, So you literally telling ChatGPT more about your life than on social
than a human.
Media. You're not like the average person not going to Instagram or whatever to post the finances or use it as a therapist, but they're literally feeding this and they're probably thinking it private. But on the flip side, Sam Altman already come out and say, as Michaela alluded to, that they're gonna start doing ads on the free version.
On the free tier, yeah. All of this he spoke about in the article too. One of the things that he brought up in the article was, remember the time when people was uploading their pictures and they would show you how you would look 50 years later, or how you look as an old person or some kind of thing like that. And Facebook was accused of collecting facial images of everybody, and they was going to use it for facial recognition and tracking you and all those kind of things, which may be very possible that it is going on, because we had to talk about it at the end with respect to Anthropic and Facebook. But you see what you said about the influencer culture, Michaela? Every child and their friend sees being an influencer as a legitimate job right now. Like legitimate job where if career day is coming up, out of a class of 30 people, 10 of them will say, I want to be an influencer. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that was 1 to 2 people. But now, children realize that they could become popular on this thing. And if you become popular on this thing, you could make money because popularity equals money. That's what it comes down to. Which is why back in my day, everybody wanted to be a rapper or R&B singer because that is how it's going to make money. Because MTV and BET and all them things was the places where if you could get into these spaces, become a boy band or something like that, you'll get to that. But now, influencer culture has made us so desensitized to putting up your information. People will be posting their babies, their children, their dog, their sister, their aunt, their granny, vlogging with their mother, talking about their auntie, their teachers, all kind of things. So when Facebook and not just Facebook alone, when Google wants to create that social graph, the amount of ammunition they have to figure out who you are linked with and who you know and who you don't know and who you're with and all them kind of things is almost like they would have to decide. They will have to decide what data they're not going to take. You know, when you have to do like data analysis, you have to find like your outliers and you have to find like data that is useless. So you don't want to waste processing cycles. I feel that's what they're going to have to do because they'll have to tell the AI, yeah, see people like this, don't bother to analyze them because we will just get a whole bunch of hogwash because them link with everything and they have nothing that we could get because honestly, they're poor and they're not going to buy anything from us. So we have to be able to target the people who have better or higher links because of the way things sharing. And I kind of afraid that the household things that we know about, like don't talk to strangers and be careful the internet and all that thing, all of that disappearing right now. And nobody is putting a check on it. And at some point in time, we'll realize that you have no privacy about anything. Like right now, we don't have any privacy because governments and things could co-opt the information and those sort of things. But I could see the social media companies without any guardrails or without any legislation, in 5 years, they would literally be able to. It had an episode of Black Mirror where they had a chip inside one of the persons who had like I can't remember, some sickness or whatnot, and they implanted some of them, and the person became a walking ad because they targeted that person so granularly that they were literally speaking ads out of their mouth because they couldn't afford the pro package, and it will become so granular that advertising and targeting will be, and well, of course with AI and putting it inside any large language model, it becomes so granular. They will know exactly what you want, when you want, how you want it. And the worst part for me is to see insurance. Insurance is the part that I'm concerned about the most. Because if them insurance companies get health data, because you know when they fill out the form and they ask you, do you have this disease? Do you have this? Do you have that? And it's be like, nope. You go and do a blood test at the best point in your life, and then they'll give you the insurance. If them get the information from your fitness tracker to realize that you will make your 10,000 steps for 5 days straight, the insurance premium gonna go up automatically. And you can't lie because the fitness tracker check it. That is where it's gonna start to get crazy because they will be like, wait, you were asking ChatGPT a lot about cancer recently, but you never disclosed to us that you have cancer. Okay. Your insurance premium gonna go up. That's one of my fear.
So I'm not sure what happened like that because the way we do ads now, like say if you're looking at the current model, you as an advertiser, you don't get disclose that information, like, you know, unless the insurance company has some, unless the insurance company has some kind of backdoor or some backdoor deal with ChatGPT or something, you know, so that model, you'll be able to target people who have cancer or target people who don't have cancer because, I mean, that would be a better client for insurance.
Yeah, but no, they do that already. Like in the States, if you go to a certain hospital and they are able to track that you went to that certain hospital, they're going to shake you down and ask you why you went there because that is the hospital that people go by when they need cancer treatment. and then it will basically be the data that they feed into the system to determine if you're eligible for insurance or anything like that already. So it have the physical data already available, the little logbooks and them kind of thing. Insurers just go to these hospitals and check the logbooks to make sure that you were never there, you're never a patient. And there's also do it for like abortions and those sort of things. Just go to the abortion clinics to check to see if you ever checked in. That's why it have certain states that have like different abortion laws and them kind of things. So I think the logic is there. It's just the access to the data isn't there. And why would the access to the data not get there within the next 2 to 3 years? Because money have to be made.
No, they'll get sued. I think they'll get sued into oblivion because of
but
privacy.
a good couple of years later.
No,
They'll get sued into
I don't think-
oblivion. How?
That's like me going to Facebook and saying, Angie, let me know if Angie had cancer. And it's like, Facebook can't just tell me if Angie
Wait,
had
what?
cancer. They
Wait.
could tell
What
you-
do you know about Facebook for the past 20 years that says that
Yeah,
Facebook
but-
won't sell that information? You think Mark and them ain't selling that information?
They could ask it, you could target people who have cancer, but to say this particular account, this person has cancer, like that going on raise all
But they're
of
not
that.
selling the individual people, they're selling the database. They're selling the database of all of the things, all of the data points that they could find, and they're gonna take that database and run it through AI and come to their own conclusion. Because Mark and them not gonna say that the person had cancer. Mark and them gonna say, oh, we sold the data to this particular pharmaceutical company, and they ran it through their own AI to come up with their own conclusions. But the social media companies, they will always claim we didn't do nothing wrong. We just collect data.
So the data sets are large enough. So for me, for example, the data sets I will fall into female, under 25, African descent, from the Caribbean, bachelor degree, working
Plays
under
mass.
3 years, play mass, can afford to play mass, has X amount of friends, uses social media X amount of times, is active throughout X amount of time periods. So they have the volume of information they have is large enough that yes, they won't target me by name, but I will be targeted if they're running a campaign specifically targeted to females of African descent, 25 years and under, who could afford to play mass.
And
I will
what
get the
if? And what if you went to this might be this isn't really graphic. What if you went to a particular gynecology clinic, and that gynecology clinic sold the client list that they have? Not the client list. They sold an anonymized client list that they didn't send the names of the people, but they sent all of the other characteristics of the person. And then now, company now is able to merge those two databases and find sort of links between the two, and they get and the AI says, hey, this is a 90%, 96% match that this is Michaela who was at that gynecology clinic. We don't know the name, but everything we know about her from social media and everything that is inside this database here, it matches up. So we're going to call Michaela and find out if she has to not get her medical insurance for anything that's gynecological, whatever it is. Again, that's the reality, and that's the thing that I am actually concerned about, because data sets will be analyzed by AI 1,000 trillion times faster than the data sets that have been analyzed in the 2000s and up to do the ad targeting that we have right now. And if AI is unleashed on those data sets, who knows what they're going to find? And who knows how the humans will co-opt that information to take advantage of people, because money has to be made. That is...
So we shouldn't be giving the AI our data. Like, why? Some of the pictures that were generated from that trend was so detailed. I just shook my head. I'm like, wow, this is pathetic. Why does ChatGPT know this much information about you to give this detailed of an image? Are you for real?
Yeah, I don't think Sam Altman and the folks at OpenAI have have a red light. I think the light is just green, and sometimes when people say stuff, it'll go to amber, and it'll just be like, okay, we'll deal with that, and then switch it back to green, and they just mash gas. Who going to be the red light for them? Yeah, they really don't have much red lights. Unless... Nope. I don't know. So, caring about what you upload matters, but the current generation of humans don't care about what they upload, because for me, I think that influencer culture tells you upload everything because you could get famous based on your lifestyle, and your lifestyle could pay you and you could retire early. That's what all them videos has be like.
You know what, boy? To kind of go back, it kind of concerning that way you say, like, out of 30 children, 10 want to be influencers.
Yeah,
when
for
it
sure.
is as an influencer, you're not even going to make minimum wage as an influencer in Trinidad. You gotta be like the top 1% to
0.01%.
Yeah. Meaning like if you have 100 people trying to be an influencer, only top like 5% going and make anyway close to about. You're better off going and find a job than trying to be an influencer. So statistically speaking in Trinidad, you're better off going and find a job. Like even a minimum wage job than trying to
and side hustle, it's all the truth, In Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, how you make money is either work for the government or start a business. And if you start a business, it will be a big fight down to get certain things. But other than that, all coming from a rich family. But we're talking about people who starting from nothing. You ain't gonna be an influencer and make plenty. It ain't happening. But
you could, but you had to be like top 1%, 5%.
Is almost like the stars had to align for you or something. It had to be like right time, right place, right content, right audience, right platform, all kind of things that had to align for it. But that's about it for caring what you have to upload. Please be very careful about what you upload, because it's going to matter very soon. And especially uploading things to large language models. Yeah, it's going to matter. Let me move on to if online payments or digital payments are actually moving forward because of assistance from the government. Because if you try to get your own links machine, it would not work. But apparently Flava Village may have something to tell us. Let's go. Well, you probably made it this far in the podcast. That means you probably like technology a lot and like to at least hear us talk about technology. And that also means you may know somebody or somebody who knows somebody or somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who wants a website built or an app built or some sort of technology integrated in their business. If you want to help them out, you could send them to Make It Simple TT, send them to us. And we have business services that range from building websites to building apps to invoicing systems to ensuring that technology is used in your company, to installation of routers, buying things online. So you could check us out, 308-8799. You could check our services out, or you could go to makeitsimplett.com and see some of the things that we've done and maybe give a recommendation to our website built or something like that. All right. So what happened was, Michaela, you probably went Flava Village for sure.
Yeah, I went Flava once. Mm-hmm.
Once? For real? Okay, cool.
Yeah, because it's too much traffic.
I heard about that. All right, so Flava Village, welcome Point of Sales Terminals Initiative.
I think you're breaking up.
What? No, please, don't tell me that.
Okay, you're back now.
All right, cool. Yeah. Some 50 carnival vendors operating at the Flava Village for the 2026 season were able to expand their business after they received free modern point of sales POS terminals from the National Payment and Innovation Company of Trinidad and Tobago. These terminals allow the vendors to accept debit and credit card payments in addition to cash. In total, NPICTT calculates the 50 vendors use their terminals to collect payments totaling $250,000, said Dr. Nigel Fulchan, the chairman of the state agency that's responsible for advancing digital payment solutions and innovation within the financial services sector. So, you wanted to go to Flava Village, or say you wanted to sell in Flava Village. You're like, all right, cool, no problem. Would you like to accept digital payments? Yes, I would like to. Sorry, but accept card payments? Yes, I'd like to. Okay, cool. Here's a point of sale machine. Use this. how did this actually work out? What did it actually look like? What was the process and all those different things? I had to do a little digging. So here's the next article that I will show you before we talk. The NPICTT, in collaboration with the National Carnival Commission, has launched Point of Sale Distribution Initiative, a point of sale distribution initiative designed to enable vendors operating at the Carnival Center to accept secure digital payments throughout the Carnival season. The initiative provides them with modern point of sale terminals, allowing to accept cards, it will reduce risks, and all those different things. The NCC has partnered closely with the NPICTT, that's so hard to say, in identifying and onboarding vendors operating at the Carnival Center. This collaboration so that the solution is tailored to the operational realities of Carnival events and that vendors receive necessary support to adopt digital payment and all that. And TSTT was the network provider that will most likely give them the SIM card and all those different things. Now, I don't know everything about it, right? All I know is we always used to be concerned about people getting point-of-sale machines because you need to have a bank account. If you have a bank account, then okay, you need to have a business bank account. Once you have the business bank account, you used to have to apply to the bank to get a point-of-sale machine. And to get the point-of-sale machine from the bank used to cost... Okay, did it cost a lot of money, boy?
It's like, you had to pay like, say, $400 or $500 a month.
Oh.
Yeah, something like that, right? Yeah. And the amount of money I had to pay, and then what else?
I have it at my thing. So each link transaction is 75 cents, and each credit card transaction based on the percentage that the company give you. So when you sign up, you have to tell them, give them an average of how much money you think you're going to be making each month, and the more money you're making, the lower the percentage they give you.
Right.
For the credit card. So it could be like 3.5, it could be 4% for credit card.
Okay, right. So that's correct. I think you had explained that on our podcast that time. So that makes sense. What did they do to these 50 vendors to make it so easy for them to be able to accept the payments? Because I want to believe that all 50 of them don't have a bank account. And all 50 of them don't have the ability to have a links machine, or else did I have one already? So how could this NPICTT make it easy for them to collect the money? Did they just say, all right, all you need to do is have a bank account and we'll do everything else? And they gave them the point of sale terminal, they link it to the bank account, the payment went through and all them kind of things? Because to me, this sounded like real easy that they just did. Like,
if it's that I want it, I would want it too. So I had to go through real pain for a links machine. But the biggest thing out of all of this is how they getting paid, how they getting money.
Yeah, how did disbursement go in? Because if it goes to a centralized location, who is holding the money and who is giving them their actual disbursement out of the $250,000 that they say was collected? If they put something in place to make it easy for a regular businessman or businesswoman to get a point-of-sale machine, because basically I saw one of them is an Android phone with an app on it, and then you just open the app and you have the same NFC tapping thing, so you can tap to pay, and it basically using it as like using an Android phone. It's not the weird one that we have now. You know, the normal point-of-sale one where they have to choose check-ins, press 1 for this, press 2 for that, and all that kind of drama. I saw the app for it, which is very easy. If they make it very easy, I'm so happy that it exists. So happy. I'll apply for one, even though I don't have any like direct sales that I have to do with anybody. But it is something that I think we need, and this will help with digital inclusion, and our digital footprint will get a lot better, especially for carnival time when these tourists and them come down. They've been really trying to be walking around with no cash because they're coming from a culture where they're using their phone to pay for everything all the time. I don't know. Makala, when you were there, did you pay with cash or you pay with your card?
I paid with cash because I just assumed that they wouldn't take card.
You see? Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. That's That sucks. That sucks a lot.
Yeah.
But I understand totally. Because if I go by the gyro, man, I know I can't pay with I pay with my phone everywhere from now till whenever. But if I go by the gyro, man, I know I had $100 in my pocket or $200 in my pocket.
To me, well, there's only one gyro man I go by that does not take links. Everybody else does take links.
The one in the savannah don't take links.
Oh, well, the one...
As far as I remember.
One's on the avenue to take links, except for the one directly next to source. Yeah, they don't take links.
The ones on the avenue, I think they are offshoots of other businesses that are around. So the links machine that those established businesses have, they might have... Because sometimes they might buy from one of these people and you see a totally different name come up in the credit card statement. You're like, what? Ashley's Poultry? I just buy doubles. Oh, how Ashley's Poultry is who I pay into. But that's one of the things that's happened. Once you have the links machine, you could use it anywhere. And I don't know who will be like auditing it or checking it or anything like that. But if the Flava Village vendors had a very easy way of getting access to accept digital payments, I would love to know exactly how it works. And I would love to be like happy for them that they continue using it. If they just gave them it for the carnival season and they take it back, I might flip out
a little more detail. It really, I'm sharing it there for you. It really answer the question in terms of how the money gets into them. We mention the technology, I guess.
Oh yeah, I saw this. I didn't even want to share it. Because it didn't say anything else new. But it's on the same NPICTT website, yeah. The link will be below. Or you can check it. But yeah, the technology, they didn't say what the technology was because I see Court Pay and Gov Pay and all those things, right? All those things were based on WePay before. Like WePay had the back end of it. But I don't know if they switched from WePay or if they continue using WePay as the provider for it. Because I believe Court Pay was a WePay based payment system and GovPay also. If the technology behind it makes it easy for us to collect payments and they're giving it away for free, then we win. If they just use Flava Village as a tester to see if it will work so that they could charge people for it eventually, then nobody gonna pay for it because people will still say cash is king. And that's the part that I'm afraid of. The cash is king kind of statement. That Michaela will have to go to these places and make sure she have to have cash because she don't trust that they will have a links machine or a payment. But imagine if they have them like, Emancipation Day, they have those what is it called? Emancipation Village? That's what it's called? Mm-hmm. Yeah, if Emancipation Village, they give all the point of sale machines. I will go just so that I could buy things faster. And my daughter will little one of them chains. I'll be like, sure, no problem. Yeah, you have the you take credit card. Okay, cool. Tap. There we go. Because I honestly think there's a subset of people that's starting to get accustomed to using their card everywhere because they realize they could just tap it and walk off.
That's if you tap working.
But okay, with these new devices, the tap will be working because it's our phone. It's like,
oh no, I don't know. Like if your card tap working.
Oh yeah, that's a thing theory. Yeah, true. I see a few people have some problems with that in the grocery. But they could insert the card too.
My insert stopped working too. So I had to replace the card.
Then your whole chip was compromised.
Yeah. The insert wasn't working and the tap wasn't working. So I had to resort to swiping. I said, no, what
so
is this?
Insecure.
2010? Goodbye. No. Back to the bank.
That's crazy. So yeah, Akim, I don't know if you get yours already from the bank, so you have whatever the bank have.
No, if it's cheaper than the bank, I switch in. If it's cheaper than having to pay that.
I check on the website and see if there's any way that I could apply for it or anything like that, but all they have is our contact us page. And the contact us page really asks about They spend more time asking if you're a human.
I know somebody who on the board at a company, you know, of, what do you call it?
NPICTT, yeah.
Yeah,
National Payment and Innovation Company of Trinidad and Tobago, yeah.
I could ask them.
Yeah, that'd be good to know.
I was watching one of his stories, and it look just now it's Grenada Carnival, Michaela.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he might be partaking in someone.
Very nice. I will not. I don't have enough money. And also, I find like Grenada Carnival was always big. Well, Spice Mass is always big, but it blew up a little bit. It blew up significantly last couple of years, especially with all the good Grenadian artists. But everybody saying, where are we all going to fit? Because Grenada real small. And they're right. Where's everybody going to fit? Everybody can't fit because 3/4 of Trinidad want to go Spice Mass. Where are we fitting? They want
to boost the Grenada economy.
Yes, they want to sleep on the ground. Where we fit in? I don't want to go. I mean, I want to go.
Use gonna use Anthropic because everybody boycotting ChatGPT. Let me tell you why. Coming up. All right. Long story short, AI wars have begun. That's a pun, that's a play on words, because Anthropic had a deal with the US government to be used for their AI services. They reached a point where their AI services were being used for certain things, and they told the US government, no, we won't. And guess who slid in the DMs right after? ChatGPT. And they struck a deal with the US government. So here is the OpenAI part to it, right? Yesterday, we reached an agreement with the Pentagon for deploying advanced AI systems in classified environments, which we requested they also make available to all AI companies. We think our agreement has more guardrails than any previous agreement for classified AI deployments, including Anthropic's. Here's why. We have 3 main red lines that guide our work with the Department of War, which are generally shared by several other frontier labs. No use of OpenAI technology for mass domestic surveillance. No use of OpenAI technology to direct autonomous weapon systems. No use of OpenAI technology for high-stakes automated decisions, example systems such as social credit. So they struck this deal on the heels of Anthropic having to cut their deal. Now here is the video of the CEO of Anthropic explaining.
I think it was more so that, like late last week, they asked Anthropic to remove the guardrails, and they give them like 24 hours. They give them a short period of time to try and remove the guardrails, and Anthropic told them no, and that was when it got announced that we dropping Anthropic and then ChatGPT coming.
Yeah, boy.
So I think they use Anthropic in similar exercises like the ones by our neighbors, and so they use Anthropic there. So they wanted to have a little
and
more
so we
control.
have said to the Department of War
go through this video,
that we are okay with all use cases, basically 98 or 99% of the use cases they want to do, except for 2 that we're concerned about. One is domestic mass surveillance. There, we're worried that things may become possible with AI that weren't possible before. An example of this is something like taking data collected by private firms, having it bought by the government, and analyzing it in mass via AI. That actually isn't illegal. It was just never useful before the era of AI. So there's this way in which domestic mass surveillance is getting ahead of the law. The technology is advancing so fast that it's out of step with the law. That's case number 1. Case number 2 is fully autonomous weapons. This is not the partially autonomous weapons that are used in Ukraine or could potentially be used in Taiwan today. This is the idea of making weapons that fire without any human involvement. We have some concerns about them. First, the AI systems of today are nowhere near reliable enough to make fully autonomous weapons. Anyone who's worked with AI models understands that there's a basic unpredictability to them that in a purely technical way we have not solved. And there's an oversight question too. If you have a large army of drones or robots that can operate without any human oversight, where there aren't human soldiers to make the decisions about who to target, who to shoot at, that presents concerns. And we need to have a conversation about how that's overseen. And we haven't had that conversation yet.
All right, so that is generally what happened. That was an interview that he gave. I'm not too sure when exactly it was, but it was within the same time frame along those lines about the decisions that were made and whatnot. So he brought up two things, which is the guardrails that ChatGPT agreed to with the government seem to be the exact same things that he's talking about, except that the ChatGPT one has no use of technology for high-stake automated decisions, such as social credit. But the surveillance and the autonomous weapon systems are point 1 and 2, and the third one is social credit. Let's talk about the surveillance one first, because the guardrails that we have been talking about on the podcast a lot is that somebody is going to have to get these companies to start to follow some basic laws. And there are some basic laws that like the Geneva Accord, the use of chemical weapons, use of this, ozone layer, CFCs. Those are different things that everybody in the world has agreed to, but nobody in the world has agreed to anything about AI yet. So, mass surveillance. When we were speaking earlier about uploading all of your information on the internet, in a video, he was saying that AI is going to have the government has the ability to buy data from a private company, feed it into AI, and the AI will be able to analyze it for any trends that it wants to. And it is not illegal right now. It is not. It's perfectly normal or perfectly acceptable for the government to do it. It's just that they have no reason to do it because it was impossible before. But now that it is possible, Anthropic was like, nah, we're not going to allow that because that could end up really, really badly. And I agree, aside from the fact that there's a big political issue that's taking place here, but AI going to get that good to be able to handle those large data sets, and that is where we're heading. Whoever has the power to do that could break society. And I seen it in a very harsh way, because when it comes to war and geopolitical things, the goal of the enemy, whichever side you're on, is not just to destroy things, it's to actually break the society or destroy the society. Because if you get the people to be broken, then nobody that would be willing to fight the war. So that's the one on the first point. Where like, what you think, Hakeem? Like,
kind of go back to some of the things we discussed before, right? So these are US companies, have certain guardrails in place, and the US military or whoever want to use AI in a certain way. But on the flip side, you think if you have enemies, your so-called enemies or your rivals or whatever, right? They have their own AI models. You think they're going to play to the same rules that these companies in the US trying to enforce? Like say China or North Korea or whatever. Like if they have an AI model, you think they're going to be like, okay, the US have these guardrails for mass surveillance and no autonomous weapons. You know what? This probably makes sense. Like DeepSeek. You think, so it's gonna be like, okay, we have these constraints, but our enemies, they don't have them constraints. We're not playing on a level playing field. So it's like,
so all right, that's all. I'm gonna kill out the say first before I try to.
So the mass surveillance is it applies to citizens of the US. So one of the issues with mass surveillance, it could be used, for example, all the information is gathered. You know how currently there are a lot of ICE deportations. AI could make that process a lot faster. It could be used to spot trends, spot groups of people who gather together, and it can make inferences and be like, hey, okay, this particular group of people that fall into this nationality gather at XYZ points every single day. And well, based on like their ChatGPT history, they speak Spanish because their ChatGPT records are in Spanish. Let us go and execute a deportation order on them. So, yes, technically I understand the point with regards to like North Korea and China not implementing the same guardrails, but North Korea and China already have mass surveillance systems in place. They already mass surveil their citizens, and they have social credit to an extent. So it's like apple to oranges. So the reason Anthropic, with regards to mass surveillance, was kind of hesitant is that, one, it puts them in a bad light if they allow the US government to mass surveil the citizens, because then the citizens of the US would be like, oh, let's not use Anthropic. So they're doing it to save face, one. And two, I guess, out of the goodness of their heart and privacy concerns, blah, 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 blah. I think it's just a save face.
You know what, too? It probably worse that ChatGPT get a contract because ChatGPT have way more users, which means they're going to have way more data points to use.
Yeah. The part about the surveillance, I'm sure that is the citizens of the particular country that they're in is the actual problem, because if you're using it for war and you surveil the other country, okay, cool, that's not a problem, because that's basically what the CIA is supposed to do, and basically find high-profile targets. What it opens the door for is when the war is finished, that there are no guardrails on what you could do with it after you've already agreed that you will be willing to do the mass surveillance. So yes, you might use it for war and it might work out well and you might win the war. Okay, cool. What happens when the war is done is now you're going to have an internal war where you're going to try to use this to better your economy by doing some things that are highly political using these tools. And the part where you say it's totally legal for a government agency to purchase data from a private company and then use that information, that is real, that the government could co-opt that. Which is why years and years ago, Apple had this little standoff with the government with the iPhone that was from some sort of killer. Can't remember who it was, but they couldn't get into the iPhone because Apple had no backdoor, and they said, no, we never built a backdoor into it. It's not going to work. Guess where they had to carry it? Israel. And the Israelis was like, yeah, we could crack it. We have software for that. And Apple was like, no, it's impossible. And the Israelis was like, hold my, what did us drink in Israel? I don't know. Yeah, hold my whatever. And they crack it because backdoor, no backdoor. It's software. There's always a way. Now with AI going to find so much more backdoors and so much more ways to do so much things that the possibilities permit me to use a cliche, the possibilities are endless. Because Michaela said they will find where you're liming and where you are and do a strike. What's called this thing? A DE. Was he any one of the people? The people who do the deportations.
ICE.
ICE, yeah. ICE exercise. What happens when the AI hallucinates, dog? That is what I want to know. When the AI hallucinates and call a particular place as the place that you have to go to, or highlights up a certain person or some kind of thing like that, and these humans act on a hallucinated AI, which we know exists. That is where I know the red line had to be. And of course ChatGPT said, nah, we have a red line there. We made an argument to that. But ChatGPT track record of
I was going side over you know.
Yeah, of making deals and doing things they could have a kind of opposing clause that basically says, oh yeah, we said that, but this clause also said that we could use it if we want to. But that is not even the biggest one. You see the automated, fully autonomous weapons, which basically controlled by AI only. What happens when the AI hallucinates about the target? Like, what happens if the AI autonomously says, oh yeah, everybody in Washington is bad because politicians are bad, because politics was meant to control the world, and it just decided, yeah, let's send a bomb. And then a human can't be like, no, we didn't tell it to do that. And the AI was like, yeah, but you told me I'm autonomous. I already launched the missile. And he like, stop launching the missile. And I was like, no, but you told me I'm autonomous. I launched the missile. And that happens to me.
Censorship. Live.
When I oh gosh, I cut off. Sorry. Just now. I need my internet giving me trouble, guys. Hopefully they're talking while I'm talking
as
here.
As Andre was saying it before he cut off, that's where the major issue is. You see, autonomous.
Why
weapons.
is my internet doing me
Oh,
this?
yeah.
So, you know, the hallucinations, you could just have one slight small hallucination or one small bias, and yeah, you could literally kill people.
Come on, internet.
You know, that is real.
Yeah, and especially looking at it from a cybersecurity perspective, that having fully autonomous weapons that run using OpenAI or Anthropic or whatnot. Some threat actor hacked that. You know what trouble that is?
Yeah.
If a threat actor hacks that and they go and change up the prompt in the background, that is chaos. That is going to be chaos. Horrendous idea.
I mean, kind of going back to what I was saying in terms of, you know, your enemies not having these guardrails. I wonder if, say, North Korea, China, if in their minds that, you know, they would be like, yeah, we need to draw the line here, no autonomous AI, because they themselves don't trust it. You know?
Yeah, that could happen, you know. That could definitely happen, because if the models tend to hallucinate, so it just seems like a bad idea all around. Maybe in the future, yes, it could be something that's implemented. So we could maybe build on the partially autonomous aspect first and perfect that a bit before we move on to the fully autonomous. But migrating to fully autonomous at this point in time with the current AI models, nope.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't think they would do it because it'll be a risk to them as well. Because I mean, it's easy to hallucinate and, you know, and have.
Let's just assume current went and came back, right?
Huh?
I'm sorry. Let's just assume current went and came back, okay? Yeah. All yours continuing my rant?
Well, we didn't hear your rant because your rant was cut and censored.
All right, so back to the rant. What happened was, what happens if the AI hallucinates and, you know, Akimi probably, I don't know, you see that? When you're trying to vibe code something and you're like, I did not say to do that. I did not say to do that. I explicitly told you not to do this. Please, do you remember when I said don't do this? And it just keeps doing it over and over and over and over and over.
Even generating our images do the same thing.
Yeah, that if that kind of stubbornness is where we at right now, you using this thing, no matter how advanced, they could have version 10 already there. There's still going to be a element of, we're not too sure if it's going to do the right thing. And creating an autonomous weapon system without human, a human kill switch, yeah.
You know, as we talk about that, it's a lot of time I was trying to generate an image and I was trying to tell it, hey, don't do this particular thing on the image, do that. And it keep doing the wrong thing. And I ask it, why you keep doing the wrong thing when I'm telling you, this is how I want it. And it basically tell me, each time I do a prompt, it cannot see the image. It can't make incremental changes. I need to make a whole new prompt with every single thing that I want changed. So I had to put the original prompt and then add all the additional things in a whole new prompt instead of trying to make incremental things, because it couldn't really, so I don't know if that is specific to images or if it has something similar that's happen when it's doing coding or anything else, but that was one.
Yeah, I end up watching a whole 45-minute video on YouTube about red flags about AI this morning, because I genuinely just wanted to know. I wanted to kind of get insight onto where we at and the issues are going on and those sort of things. And the hallucinations, is almost like a bug that you can't get rid of because of intrinsically how a large language model figures something out. Because it figures things out.
Something. Wait. Oh.
Yeah. There we are. Back now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It intrinsically has a problem because it has to figure out how to do something by changing some parameters. But because it has to change the parameters every single time you do a prompt, there's going to be a point where it's going to hallucinate eventually because the amount of parameters not available. The only thing that the video that I watched said that it will be able to fix it is if the amount of processing power or transistors quadruples. Then the percentage of... Did I stick again? Yeah, I think I stuck again. Yeah.
Then the world may never know.
I tell my son stop playing FIFA.
Batman. Justice. And when the world needed them most, he disappeared.
Yeah, boy. I like Batman.
I feel we should probably wrap up.
What?
Before you go again.
Yeah, boy. Somebody. I don't know if on floor on digital right now, but
tired as live censorship.
My load balance enough. Hey, it could be okay. Now that's plain. Yeah. Yeah, but generally speaking, the hallucinations could only get helped if the amount of transistors increases, and if the amount of transistors increases, then the percentage of hallucinations will get smaller. So we basically have to reach the point where hallucination percentage gets below our acceptable level, which will be 0.0001%.
Yeah. So basically, supercomputers.
Quantum.
Yeah.
Quantum computers as well.
Yeah. You basically had to get the margin of error so low that it can't hallucinate, which we're not physically capable of doing right now, electronically. That's why they're trying to push so much for data centers and all them kind of things to help us rely on it. But it's cool to solve problems and get things done with human oversight, but I don't think our autonomous drone should be told to be controlled by AI only. And that's where Anthropic drew the line. ChatGPT seems to have drawn the line, but I think public trust is being eroded badly by
next
ChatGPT.
Reason.
What's that?
And next reason why that shouldn't happen is because who's going to be held responsible? They're trying to move to fully autonomous weapons so that the responsibility is shifted from the humans to the AI models. But you can't blame an AI model. AI models can't take accountability.
You put it in cyber jail and disconnect it from the internet and say, you stay there until I'll connect you back to the internet after you serve 20 years.
Nope. That's not really
that might be a funny joke if they do actually take over. They'd be like, oh, you thought you could put us in jail, huh? What was the
whole point of Tron?
It's Tron. It had Lucy. Lucy's in your mind. Lucy was another show too. You watch Lucy?
You know, whichever one had Jared Leto in it. This one.
Yeah, that was probably Tron. All right.
Jared Leto, Tron.
Time to wrap up before my internet fight me again. Our topics today were who cares about what they upload? I care, and people should care, but whatever we upload, I don't know where we landed on that. Michaela, where you landed?
With the, which one is that? The AI
Uploading
thing?
things to the people
Yes,
uploading want to be influencers.
uploading all your information to things that are free. If it is free, you are the customer. And even if you're paying, you are still not the customer, you are the product. You are the product. They're going to sell your data. They're going to feed you ads. I don't care if you're using an ad block. They're going to use you as a data point to get to everybody else around you. Anyway.
Thanks. Yeah. Akeem, I think you landed in the same place as me.
Yeah.
Flava Village opening up digital payments. Well, Akeem wants one. Because if it's free and it collects any money at a cheaper cost than what the bank charging you, then yeah, I think that's a plus. That would be necessary. Yeah. And Michaela wouldn't have to go with cash.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to walk with our phones and tap, something like that. And then the AI wars, the use of AI for wars, Anthropic and OpenAI, they open up our eyes to something that we saw was coming. Hopefully the guardrails that are being put in place are real and they will have some sort of thinking. But in the video that we watch, it said that the technology is outpacing the laws, which is true. Somebody might have to do something about that. So that's us for today. We went a little longer, but we had plenty to talk about. My name is Andre Charles from Make It Simple TT on the internet, and the co-host number 1 at episode 150, who's been here since episode -2. I think we had two we had two betas before we reached episode 1. Akeem there.
Yeah, from Redbit_tech. And back when we used to do it live, do a live
we
on
used to
TikTok or something, but yeah.
Yeah, and then Akeem was like, let me stop that. And I was like, yeah, let's stop that. Because TikTok was popping after the pandemic. That is where you get most of your engagement. But right now, yeah. And the person who's not on TikTok, Michaela Noel.
Yep, I will not give TikTok my data.
All they know is she's on this podcasting called Trinidad Techcast, but we don't know anything else about her. We'll have to listen to the whole thing to find out about her and build the social graph. All right, that's it. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and all of the other cool things. And if you leave a comment, we'll try to respond to you. We'll respond to the more logical, educational comments. If it's a hate comment, you'll just get a heart because engagement matters. Have a good week. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.